Welcome to the Sports Hangover. I'm Michael Benatar, joined alongside J DAWG.
Mike, it is good to see you. You have a football jersey on. Is it almost football season around here?
I'm ready. We're doing the NFC gambling, fantasy, whatever you want to call it, preview. I'm ready. I'm in my 00. I don't know if you remember, but I bought everybody jerseys, and they were all supposed to say the Sports Hangover on the back, but it didn't get printed in China, where I tried to buy these jerseys for $5.
What's the back say?
Well, it's supposed to say the Sports Hangover. That's why I gave you a Miami's Dolphin jersey, and that's why I gave our mutual friend a Steelers jersey. They were all supposed to say the Sports Hangover.
They didn't say that. But you look good.
Next year.
Sam Darnold, the Seahawks have a new QB. Maybe in this episode, you'll reveal that the Seahawks are heading to the Super Bowl.
Maybe. Do you want to we'll start there, or should we start somewhere else? Should we tease it a little? You want to start like NFC North, East, South?
You know what? Let's go East Coast bias. Your boy moved to the Northeast. There's a lot of Northeast fans over here. Let's do NFC East first. The Super Bowl champions also reside in that division.
They do. I'll give you, let me just break down the odds. I felt like AFC show I didn't break down the odds enough. Philly, minus 145 to win the division. Over under, 11.5 wins. Commanders, plus 225. Over under 9.5. Dallas, plus 600. Over under 7.5. It's plus 3,000 to win the division, and over 5.5 wins.
Jameis Winston could have some magic in him, but they're not going to win the division. Let's start with the Eagles, right? The Eagles are the team. Will they repeat? Will they be Super Bowl champs again is the first question.
I don't think so. Now, over the season, they did a whole bunch of rule voting, just like our fantasy league, where we randomly vote on stuff. And for some reason in our league, when I look at the vote counts, it doesn't actually equal up to the same total of teams as there is votes. So that's always interesting.
Not everyone voted. We'll go off topic here. Not everyone voted.
Clearly. Yeah, not everybody voted. And I see things, I'm like, well, if you guys want to lower the thing, like let's get 6-6 or 7-4 or 5, whatever.
Sure.
It doesn't happen in our fantasy league. No, I don't think the Eagles are going to make it back. I think it's a season where they fight hard, but all the other teams I feel like got a little better. And even New York, I will say, New York, I think even got a little better. I don't think it's going to be as easy. Last season, we had Jaden Daniels out there playing his ass off. I thought he was playing great. Cowboys got they got Pickens. I don't know if that actually helps them. But I just think overall, the East is a little tougher for Eagles. So I do not think they're going back to the Super Bowl this year.
Mike, I agree. The Eagles Super Bowl hangover is coming. Listen, we're called the Sports Hangover. No one knows about a sports hangover like us. We've seen it with the Chiefs over the years, and we see it with the Eagles this year. You win the Super Bowl, you play all those extra games. They went to the Super Bowl a few years ago. They play all these extra games. You're going to be tired this year. They're celebrating Saquon Barkley on Madden. I am also taking the under on the Eagles.
I forgot the Madden curse.
The Madden curse. It's another reason to fade them. What are you doing? Fade them. Move on. Fade them. They're
not
even
have to talk
relevant.
about anything else. Madden curse. That's all I need.
Saquon, sorry about your Week 7 injury, but that happened.
Next.
Move on.
All right. What do you think about the Commanders? I wrote down Jaden Daniels. Will he avoid the sophomore slump? And will they improve enough to have division dominance? That's what I wrote down.
The answer is yes. Jaden Daniels is not CJ Stroud 2.0. He is him. He is Himothy Daniels, Mike. I don't know if you knew this. Himothy plays for Washington, and he is the new star of the NFC East. He might be the best quarterback in the NFC. You can look up and down the NFC and try to find a superstar quarterback and not find one. Himothy might be. Baker, what? The Commanders, I think, will win the division, and I also like a sneaky little side bet. I don't know if you went this far. Maybe this is, should have saved it for a future show, but Himothy Daniels plus 750 for MVP.
Listen, I got somebody else in the NFC for MVP.
Okay.
I don't hate it. I would almost rather do the division odds at plus 225. I think if Philly have a little regression here, I think Washington can step up, win the division plus 225.
Here's my thing on that. Just rebuttal on that. If they win the division, he's got to be MVP. That means he took the step forward. That means he was better than Jalen Hurts. Can you almost say the plus 750 is a better bet than the division bet?
MVP is weird because I feel like week to week, it fluctuates. It's like, oh, it's Lamar season, baby. It's let's go. It's like
and then Josh just comes in and
Josh
gets it.
Allen.
Right? Yeah.
I feel
you
like
never really know.
You never know. At least with this one, it's like, no, the numbers say you are the division winner. You win this. You could do both. You could parlay it if that's possible. But yeah, I could see the MVP. Did he win rookie last year?
I think he did. He had to.
I don't know why we don't have all these, but We'll
He
figure it
did.
out.
He definitely did. Who else could have, honestly? And then you mentioned the Giants. Talk about the
Yes.
Giants. My coworkers at work are like depressed about the Giants, like I'm depressed about the Dolphins. So I know it's bad. They have all these QBs. They have Russell Wilson. They have Jameis Winston. They have Jackson Dart. The rule is if you have 3 QBs, you have no QBs. They're kind of like the Browns of the NFC this year. Maybe they're tanking, waiting for a new QB. We'll see. I don't know. I don't like what the Giants are doing.
This could go both ways. If you do not believe in what they're doing here, if you don't think a rookie could go out there and win any games, if you don't think Russell Wilson can go out there and win any games, if you don't think our boy Jameis can go out there and win any games, bet the under here. This team could win 0 games this season because if you're thinking Russ goes out there and plays and you're like, what did we do thinking Russ was the answer? And they're like, hey, let's slot in the rookie. Let's see what he's got. Rookie doesn't perform. It's like, shit, we only have Jameis. Let's put Jameis in. Let's try to win some games. I don't think this team performs very well. I think they go under here. They're definitely not winning the division. I think it's going to be a mess. I don't know. And the coach is still there, the head coach. It's like, how does Trevor Lawrence still stay as a QB? And this head coach, Daboll, how does he stay as a head coach of the New York Giants after how many years has it been? How many years has it been since
it's been like 6 years? Daniel Jones was there like 5 years. Now they moved on.
Terrible.
Daniel Jones won his whole rookie deal, became a free agent, and the Brian Daboll is still there. Plus the GM who drafted Daniel Jones still there. It's crazy. Not good. And then that leaves one team.
Well, yes, it does leave one team with the Cowboys. But I was going to say they were so bad. The GM is still there, but they were recorded last season basically letting go of Saquon, and that's just, you see the dysfunction right there. That's it.
It's like, if I make a bad decision, I can survive that at work. If you play back the video of my bad decision in the boardroom and all the TVs on all the social media, I won't keep my job, right? And then this guy did keep his job after he went viral for his bad decision.
It's so crazy.
It's bad.
What do you think of the Cowboys? They're plus 600 for division, over under 7.5 wins.
Listen, they're not going to be as bad on offense as people think. The stats with CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott are so much better when they have a viable number 2. Last year's viable number 2 is Brandon Cooks, who's been on like 7 teams in 7 years. His hamstrings are completely shredded. He's like 5'5". This is a real number 2. George Pickens is a diva. He is not a good actor. We know he was forced out of Pittsburgh. Dallas has all that bullshit going on anyway. He's not even going to be a drop in the bucket in Dallas. Micah Parsons and Dak and Jerry. Like, George Pickens is like just chilling now in Dallas. I don't think he causes issues. I think he makes Dak better, makes CD better, who's still a generational receiver and is just looking to have the safety not cover him up top every time. I think if he gets one-on-one coverage, can do that. I was a Dak supporter for like 5 years. I'm less so now. But again, is it because he was ruined with coaching all of his career and Mike McCarthy just continued the bad coaching? Now they hired someone who's a yes man to Jerry. And so the reason I won't bet the Cowboys over, the reason I won't support them going to the playoffs or win the division is because they hired a guy with no head coaching experience who's like a washed up coordinator, Brian Schottenheimer. Dad was a legendary head coach. Mike, Nepo babies don't work on this podcast. We don't support that, so I don't support Schottenheimer and the Cowboys.
I would say sometimes they work, but not all the time. Maybe
do not destroy. We actually disagree with that.
Yeah, I like the do not destroy guys.
I don't like those guys. They all got handed jobs and they're not funny.
I think they're kind of funny. I think they're kind of funny. I think in movies it really does help because it's like, oh, this guy's kind of familiar. Somebody I remember. What about Patrick Schwarzenegger? He was great in White Lotus.
He was great in White Lotus. I agree. He was great in White Lotus. He really was. Maybe I'm coming around on that.
Yeah, come around on it.
He's Jeremy, a real jerk.
I am always cold on the Giants. I do not believe in not the Giants. I'm cold on the Giants too, but the Cowboys. Yeah, cold on the Cowboys. This whole division is sometimes miserable to watch, but it's almost like got that prestige to it where it's like, this is the division where it's like, oh, the Eagles, the Commanders, the Cowboys, the Giants. Oh my God, like all these teams in the Northeast. I think Cowboys are not going to be any better. I don't believe in Dak at all. Dak has been there for years and has not proven when it comes to crunch time, he cannot perform. And I don't like that. You got to perform in crunch time. If you can't perform in crunch time, I don't want you on the team. Go somewhere else, get a new scenery. Sometimes it works for you and move on. Like, I don't think this is it, but him and Jerry, I mean, Jerry must love him. Must have a big one.
I think Jerry can't get rid of Dak. He paid him, and now he must have a big one. I think they tried getting rid of him. I think they've chopped him to the Titans for the first overall pick, and the Cowboys
Really?
would have rebuilt with either Shador or Cam Ward, and they couldn't get a deal done. No one wants him. Jerry just gave him that stupid contract on opening day of last year. So management is terrible at the Cowboys, and the head coaching doesn't make sense this year. So no matter what happens on the field, you need those two things to be more cohesive than they are.
I agree. Let's do NFC North here.
Yeah.
Let's hit it hard.
It's a good division.
This is a good one. This is a tough division, but I will say I'm gonna start at the bottom here. I'm gonna say the Minnesota Vikings will be the team that is the worst in this division. I think bringing a rookie in, he's bringing a rookie in. JJ has not played a game, coming back from a surgery. What he tore, ACL, right?
Yeah.
He's coming back.
Meniscus, just a meniscus.
Jeremy, we have never seen this man play a football game in our life.
But you know who has? Kevin O'Connell has, and he said, Sam Darnold, goodbye. I'm going to roll with JJ.
I understand, but they were also going to have to pay a lot of money to Sam Darnold, and they didn't want to do that. So they're like, let's just go with the rookie. Minnesota division odds plus 360, over 8.5 wins. I'm betting the under. I do not believe in this rookie. I do not believe in what they're doing. That's it. I don't even, and I see like grades online. I was like, how is this true? Like team grade before B, potential minus A. There's no way in no world JJ McCarthy is taking this team anywhere, winning the division or winning a Super Bowl.
Mike, I'm worried about you because I thought there's one consistent thing that I could rely on you for, and it was to bury Caleb Williams' ass on this show. I thought you were going to put him in a body bag and zip him up and send him off to sea in Chicago. And instead, you're telling me that the Vikings will actually finish worse than the Bears, and it's messing me up right now because I was prepared to agree with you on how bad the Bears will be, and now I have to save it and talk about the Vikings first. Okay. The Vikings, I think, have a sneaky setup here with J.J. McCarthy and Kevin O'Connell, because no one thinks they're any good. But Kevin O'Connell is the QB whisperer. Was it Sam Darnold? Is that the reason you're wearing his jersey? Was it because Sam Darnold magically learned how to play football? Or was it because the Vikings head coach, Kevin O'Connell, was whispering sweet nothings in Sam Darnold's ear all year and made him do that? Yeah, and maybe he'll do the same thing for J.J. I'm confusing the two because maybe they are interchangeable. Maybe Darnold, random white guy, J.J., random white guy, they're all the same in this offense.
I will say the two things negative against him is JJ has no reps in the NFL. And you always hear from guys the first year, they're learning the speed, they're learning what's going on. Guess what's going to hurt them? Tearing your fucking knee and trying to re-heal from that. And I know he had a lot of time. He had months, over a year to heal because it happened before the season even started. And I know he'll be fine, but I don't think this is his year. So I just think he's got a lot going against him. You're in a new job. Even if you have the greatest whisperer in the world, you still got to have that learning curve. And Sam Darnold had, 7 years to learn? And Sam Darnold's only 27, 28. It's not like he's that old. So he was a journeyman for a little while. But I do think JJ's got a lot to learn. And I don't think this is his season.
The last time we saw JJ McCarthy on a real football field, he was winning a national championship for Michigan. That is a big effing deal. Thick Rich had 16 starts in his whole college career at Florida. J.J. McCarthy probably had 16 starts the season he led Michigan to a national championship. Rookie quarterbacks come in all shapes and sizes and different resumes. Bo Nix played 5 years of college, and he came to the NFL and made an impact right away. J.J. McCarthy is experienced. Does he have the physical tools that the great quarterbacks have? No. I think he's kind of short and scrawny. Seems like an issue. But if we're talking about betting on this division, I think the Vikings are a sneaky bet because of their head coach, and I disagree with you. They will not be last place. It will be the Bears.
Well, the team that you think is going to be last place actually is better odds if you want to bet on them to win the division, plus 450. I agree. Listen, Minnesota's going to be bad, but I think the Bears they've stepped up a little. They got a competent coach. It seems like he was a goddamn mess in Chicago. I don't believe in Caleb at all. How about this? If you ever drafted a dynasty fantasy team with all the best weapons you could ever imagine, this is what Caleb's walking into. You got one shot. You got to prove him right. You got, let's say, a generational head coach coming in because he was doing great in Detroit. He turned around, what's his name, and made him like an all-star quarterback.
Goff. Yeah, that's hard to do. McVay couldn't do it.
We know Jared Goff is not an all-star quarterback, so he's definitely coming down this season. But I just think Caleb Williams is not the guy. He seems like a crybaby. I mean, did you see that story that came out that he wanted to get out of the Bears. He was trying to pull a Peyton Manning or what not Peyton Manning.
He wasn't that
Eli.
good enough to do that.
Yeah, so it's just like all these things add up to me. Almost like if Tom Brady's the GOAT and that's how you treat and act people and act towards people, that's where I'm at. And Caleb's down at the bottom because he seems like emotional. He seems like a Jay Cutler where there was hope and video of you that you could potentially be good, but you're too emotional on the field and too emotional people and too emotional with your, fingernail colors and showing how,
You got there. You got there in the end. This is Gen Z, and we talked about how mentally weak Caleb was, crying in college, not carrying his team despite of a bad defense, not being the leader he's supposed to be, complaining in Chicago, trying to get out of there. These are all things that J.J. McCarthy doesn't possess. As a leader, as someone who practices meditation, Mike, J.J. McCarthy's big on meditation. He does commercials, I think. He actually meditates on the field, leaning on the goalpost before every game. Caleb Williams has not mentally strong enough to know what meditation is or how it can help him. The Bears actually got worse this offseason. I know they got Ben Johnson and the new head coach from the Lions. That's fine. Maybe that helps. But you can whisper sweet nothings to an ugly person and the person is still ugly, and that's Caleb Williams. Their defense was bad last year. They added one impact player on defense. All right? They got slightly better on defense.
I hope that's in your bio on Tinder.
Was it a good line? Should I use that?
It was a great line. It was so good.
I don't know, just riffing on Caleb here. It wasn't even in my notes.
Great. It's great.
They also got worse on offense. They lost Keenan Allen and didn't replace him on offense. They drafted a tight end from Michigan. No one knows much about him. Is he a blocker? Is he a pass catcher? I think the Bears' roster got worse. I think Caleb Williams doesn't develop. Sure, Ben Johnson is great, but you can call great plays and Caleb won't deliver. I think the Bears are still the worst team in the division.
I think the next worst team could be Detroit here. I think losing the offensive coordinator, it seems like they were so good. Everybody had to go and get paid a lot more money to do other things around the league. You lost a lot of people. Jared Goff seems to like a lot of structure. I know you got Dan Campbell there, your hoorah boy. I don't know how long that lasts in actual coaching. I think they regress a little bit. Green Bay Packers are at the top of this division for me. I don't like Love that much. But I do have a Green Bay Packers jersey out back here. It's a throwback Eddie Lacy jersey. I'm going to pull it up real quick.
Pull it up. I do like Jordan Love. What do you have against the Packers in general?
My boy. Big Eddie Lacy. He really
That's
had
a big
run.
Jersey. Is that 2X, 3X? What size is that?
He had a run for a little while. I don't think Detroit does it, and I think Green Bay. If you want to bet on a division winner here, I think Green Bay could do it. I haven't seen the schedule, so I wasn't basing this off strength of schedule, but I do think Green Bay at plus 260 to win the division. I like that a lot.
I like that too. I think that's good value. I think the Packers and the Vikings are two teams I would bet on to win the division here. The Lions had a brain drain, and you see it with companies. When they go through a brain drain, they get worse. They make a little less money the next year. The Lions' brain drain has come from their coordinators. I always told you, Dan Campbell was a personality hired to go knock the kneecaps off and change the culture in Detroit. He did it. What he doesn't do is call plays, and he lost his great offensive coordinator and his great defensive coordinator all at once. That's a significant brain drain. If a Fortune 500 company had all the executives leave at once, I would sell the stock. I'm selling the stock in the Lions.
I agree. So where do we stand on Green Bay? I don't know.
I like Jordan Love. I like his receivers. They didn't do a lot of changes in the offseason. They lost the corner, Jair Alexander. LaFleur has an amazing record at home, amazing record toward the end of the season. I just trust them maybe the most of any team in the division.
Yeah, I would agree. I feel like if there's not a lot of changes, they're quietly sometimes good, sometimes bad. It's not too flashy. There wasn't a ton of changes. But yeah, that's why I think like if you're going to bet on a team, I think Green Bay. But overall, I never think of Green Bay too much, but I think I do like Green Bay a lot here.
I think they drafted a receiver in the first round this year to help Jordan Love even more.
Finally.
Matthew Golden from Notre Dame, first round.
There you go. All right, let's do NFC South. Let's
the
Bucs
Souths are
first.
bad. We talked about in the AFC South, it's bad. The NFC South is still bad. When will the Souths be better?
Well, the Bucs, I think, are very good, and that's easy money at plus 100 to win the division.
Okay, you mentioned that earlier. You're touting Baker. You're touting the Bucs. What's your deal with the Bucs?
Well, from Tampa, so we have very.
Where's that jersey back there?
I just think the Bucs are a team that was overlooked a lot. This division, in my eyes, got even worse. There is no way it could have gotten worse, but it did. Saints, will they win a game? Do they have a quarterback that's ever won a game? No. Panthers, we got Bryce Young. Can he step up? Was he getting better last year? Yes. Does that continue? Probably not. Falcons, guess what? Michael Penix Jr. Are you a real quarterback? Are you not? Are you flashing mirrors? We know Kirk Cousins is still there. I know he can't move or bend his knees, but he is still there. Michael Penix Jr. is the starter, and I do not think he moves the division. I think it's like the easiest thing. You just glance at it, you're like, the Bucs are the team. The Bucs are the team you bet on here.
It does look like that. Did you mention Bryce Young? Because he got better throughout last season. Bryce Young did get better. So did the Panthers get better or worse? Maybe they're better this offseason. So maybe the division didn't get completely worse.
Tell me what got better with the Panthers, I guess.
Andy Dalton had a car crash, and Bryce Young played and got confidence because he had to play, and they couldn't bench him without Andy Dalton. That's what got better. He got confidence throughout the season. He did. We saw it happen slowly but surely. The Panthers would score points. They're not going to win the division, obviously. They're not going to threaten the Bucs. I thought on the Saints, if I can go there, and then I'll circle back to the Bucs if that's okay. The Saints are so clearly tanking. I haven't seen a team try to tank like the Saints in a long time. And it all goes back to Arch Manning, the Peyton's father, played and was a legend for the New Orleans Saints. It's so clear that they have this hodgepodge of young quarterbacks who suck. Their salary cap situation sucks. They're rolling out Kamara and all these old guys again. It's like they're not even trying to win. Their over-under is 5.5. Bet under that. If there's a bet for like who's going to have the first overall pick in the draft, bet that because the NFL doesn't have a lottery yet and rewards tanking. And then if you have another bet for which team Archie Manning will play on in 2027 or 2026 or whatever it is, it should be the Saints. So that's a quick Saints.
I like that. Yes, I agree. Yeah, this division's a mess. I think Tampa is the overall winner of this division. Now you could like go against me and say, well, Michael Penix Jr. could come out and tear up this team. He's unknown. He could be great. And it could be, they could be 7-2 and we'd be like, oh my God, like Falcons. I don't think that's going to happen, but it could. But I just don't have any hope that actually is because I do not believe in rookies. I don't believe because there's Jaden Daniels out there. There's Bo Nix's. But when's the last time that's actually happened? When's the last time we got a rookie and we're just like, God damn, like that's the guy. It's been a long time. Like last year was an anomaly because I've not seen that in a very long
Stroud
time.
was the year before. Maybe before Stroud was an anomaly. The 2 years in a row we've seen it. So could we see it again?
No.
With Michael Penix, who's not a rookie. He played last year. He did play. It was weird. Cousins was there. Now it's his second year. My question for you is, who do you trust more? Is it Raheem Morris and his quarterback, Michael Penix Jr. on the Falcons, or Todd Bowles, who's kind of been on the hot seat at times in Tampa? They don't always love him. And Baker. Yeah. Who do you trust more?
Todd. Because they just drafted another rookie wide receiver. They got a whole bunch of receivers there. They got Bucky. They got Bucky, right? Bucky's ready to play. I think.
Listen, I want to hate on the Bucs. It's hard to do when you look at this division, but I think the Falcons will be right there. Last year, the Bucs beat the Falcons last game of the season to win the division. They were tied going in. Could be the same situation this year, and who knows who could win.
Well, let's get to the best division in football, the NFC West.
Yeah. Well. Mike, can I take a victory lap when it comes to this division?
Sure. Yeah. What do you got? Do you
know where I'm going with this?
I don't know where you're going, but give it to me.
Let's do a special PSA to San Francisco 49ers fans. For all you listening out there, you all, after telling me that I was too wrong about Brock Purdy, wrong about Shanahan, wrong about the 49ers struggling last year, wrong about their draft picks, wrong about quarterback decisions, Mike, the Hangover hotline was filled up. Our TikTok clips were filled up with San Francisco 49ers fans telling me how wrong I was.
Many. Yeah.
The Niners were 6-11 last year. They ended on a 4-game losing streak. So you guys can take all your comments and shove them up your ass, San Francisco, because J Dawg was right and you all were wrong. Your quarterback sucks. Your head coach sucks. Thank you, Mike. And I was right about this. And the second thing is they paid Brock Purdy this offseason. Let real good players walk out the door. They're going to be even worse. How on earth does a 6-11 team have an over-under of 10.5? I am hammering the under on the Niners. I would hammer the over on Brock Purdy interceptions. They're going to be worse this year. Thank you for the sound effects. The Niners will continue to suck.
So you're saying we should bet, are these division odds? This can't be real.
I know.
I must have pulled division odds from the wrong. This can't be real odds.
No, I think it's
over
real.
10.5 wins.
I know. That's what I'm seeing.
No, is that real? Hold on a second.
People are loving the Niners still. No, why? It's blind faith. You see what I'm saying?
Is that real odds? I have to see if that's real.
Their over-under is 10.5 after they went 6-11.
All right, so I guess we're seeing the same thing. I was like, maybe I got the numbers wrong or something.
It's crazy, right?
Be real.
Like you're wearing the Seahawks fan. Help me out here.
Hold on. First of all, that's not real. Just bet the under for San Francisco. There's no way. Why are they the leader for the division? Seahawks are the worst one in this division, and I don't believe that at all.
I'm telling you, the public has it wrong. This is a chance. Like, we've been on this San Francisco sucks for years on this show. It's an opportunity for us.
We're betting the under at -130. I'm putting that down. Yeah, that's crazy. I was like, wait a second, this can't be real. I was spending way too much time on the Seahawks here.
I just had to rant about that,
I agree with San Francisco. The next best team in this division by the division odds here are the Rams. People like the Rams. They're always a little sneaky. +175, over under 9.5 wins. I never see it, but for somehow they're always ending up in the mix in the playoffs and fighting somebody to get there. I don't get it. Even last year, I was like, how are they going to do this? But I guess Matthew Stafford is just good.
They're pretty good. Stafford and McVay did it last year. I think they're going to do it again. It's going to come down to them and the Seahawks. So let's get to Seattle. Why? You teased us all show now. We made it to the end. Why Sam Darnold? Why will the Seahawks win the division?
Jeremy, it comes down to one player, and that player is MVS. As we know, that stands for MVP. And when that player is on the team, that quarterback becomes the MVP of the league. It's happened for Lamar. It's happened for Patrick Mahomes. It's happened for Josh Allen. And now it will happen for Sam Darnold. He is on the team. I forgot his real name. What's MVS, right?
Marquez Valdez-Scantling, the MVP deliverer.
He is the MVP, I don't know, safety net. Yeah. And that's what I think. I think this year is the year for Sam Darnold. We saw him last year. Jeremy should have bet. I don't even know what you were going to bet. Best comeback player, best anything for him to come back next year.
I nailed it.
I like what the Seahawks are doing. Also, there's like a ton of, it seems like a lot of people also like the rookie there, which kind of worries me a little bit. I hope it doesn't turn into like a Russell situation where he like steps in and tries to take over the team with Sam Darnold there, but I don't think that's going to happen. But they like what they got. I like that we got Cooper Kupp. I think that's nice. It's a different look team. It does worry me that I don't know what other receivers are real. I mean, obviously MVS, but he's not a big player in the MVP race. So we'll see. I'm just excited about the team. I think the team is overlooked, undervalued. And if you want some value, bet the division, take the overs. I think they're going to be great this season.
I'm not here to disagree with you. You might be right. I'm an early Sam Darnold adopter. I'm a supporter. I like Seattle. I like Mike McDonald, the head coach. I like a lot of what they're doing. We just talked about a brain drain in Detroit. The brain drain in Seattle occurred on the field, Mike. Geno, DK, Tyler Lockett. That's their whole DNA of the last 10 or 15 years. That's who we know. Pete Carroll the year before, they've lost everything about them. Their whole identity is gone, yet you're still wearing the jersey, which means you're a great, great fan of the Seattle Seahawks. I think Sam Darnold won't be the same as he was in Minnesota. I'm sorry to tell you this. I'm sorry, but I have a theory about it. I just want to share.
Give me a theory.
Sam Darnold was a highly drafted player by the New York Jets. He had high expectations coming in, and he failed miserably. And then he went all around the league, and he relearned how to be a quarterback. And he went to Minnesota as a buy low candidate on a cheap one-year contract. He had nothing to lose. He had the QB whisperer in his headset, and he had a great season.
Yeah.
What is coming to Seattle with Sam Darnold? Not the QB whisperer, but expectations, because he signed the big contract again. No one has had expectations on Sam Darnold since he was a redhead on the Jets and they ran him out of town after 5 years for sucking. And I'm really worried that he's going to go in nervous and not play well right away and start to hear all the noises in Seattle. And like you said, there's a rookie there, and it might not work out the same.
Jeremy, Seattle seems like a safe place for retired Jets players. You know, we got Geno after he left the Jets, and wasn't Geno drafted pretty high for the Jets?
He
Sam
was.
Darnold was drafted there.
Yeah.
And we take all the Jets players.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be, listen, if expectations are low, this is where we got to bet. This is where you got to put your money where your mouth is. I'm going to Vegas. I'm putting money on the MVP in Vegas. I want to go back and cash that $1,000, $10,000 ticket with him winning MVP. He's going to win MVP. I just want to see how they play. We got to hear, rumblings of camp and see what's going on. I'm excited for it. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what happens. What do you think about do we want to talk Cardinals at all? Like, do we want to end it on a high note? Like, I have nothing for the Cardinals.
Cardinals didn't make my note. You know what? No Cardinals. End on a high note. End with the Seahawks. We might disagree a little bit. They could win the division. I like Rams Seahawks week 17 or 18, whenever their last game is, for the division.
Are you coming out to Rant? Are they in Seattle or LA?
I'd have to check the schedule.
Good show. Check out our Substack. Go on YouTube. Subscribe. Tons of videos up there. Shows, TikTok. We're literally everywhere. So subscribe to us. A good show, J DAWG. See you.
See ya.